The Watsons Go to Birmingham by Christopher Paul Curtis. Power. Which characters have the power in your story? How does the power shift as the story unfolds? Power. Page 5. On this page, I think the whites have the power because they are making the blacks walk downtown just to find the colored bathroom. Page 23. In my opinion, Mr. Alms, a strict fifth grade teacher, has the power, and Kenny doesn't because Mr. Alms is making a kindergartner, which is Kenny, read, I'm guessing, a really hard book. Point of view. Rewrite an event in your story from the point of view of another character. I knew I should have been a good parent at all, but it looked so funny how my son's tongue stuck onto the mirror like that, and everyone was panicking. That was a funny time. My cheeks were all puffed up like I had a bunch of water in my mouth about to spit it out. I burst out laughing like I just saw a cow with a chicken head. I ended up crying because I was laughing so hard. I could see that everyone else was crying, but not in the same way. The protagonist of your story. Your evidence will include what your main character does and says, and how he or she interacts with others. Kenny is a smart and funny character throughout the story. At about the age of 5, Kenny could read, but not only could Kenny read the 5th grade level of books, he could even read it upside down. From what I know, Kenny does not like his big brother Brian, and Brian does not like him back. For example, Kenny asked Brian if he could clean the car windows. Brian's response was, "No, I don't want to." In one part of the story, Kenny found a new friend in school. His name was Rufus. Kenny was amazed that Rufus used a real gun before. That makes me think that even though Kenny is a colored person, he still has a pretty good life with his family. Find the voices in your story that are not heard. Why do you think this is so? Do some voices always stay unheard throughout the story? Unheard voices, page 47. I think that Kenny and his siblings aren't being heard because they don't want layers and layers of coats and shirts, but their mama says they need to. Page 35. I think that Rufus's voice isn't being heard because it seems that Kenny doesn't believe Rufus that he's used a real gun before. Page 7. I think that Brian's voice isn't being heard, literally, because since Brian is always joking around, Kenny doesn't believe him this time, when Brian gets his tongue stuck on the mirror. Historical time period. Collect at least 10 pieces of evidence from the text to show the time period of the story. Colored's bathroom were in the 1960s. The blacks had to go to the colored's bathroom. Now, colored or not, you can go to the same bathroom. I think that the colored kids have to work more because when a boy named Rufus comes in the story, he said that he shot a squirrel, which makes me think that he's poor. Rufus is a black kid and he only has 2 pairs of shirts and pants. Kenny always plays with his dinosaur toys, which makes me think that he only has 1 toy. Does that affect on his color? It said that Mama hasn't really been in the cold so much. I think she can't fly on an airplane because she's black. What is the central theme of the story? Use multiple pieces of evidence to show how this theme is created. I think that the big idea is a journey, because the Watsons go to Birmingham, obviously. They face the difficult times of the blacks and white being separated, finding all the special colored places such as the bathroom, having to stand up in restaurants and also buses, going through the good, bad, and funny times in their family. And the greatest time of the Watson life was when Martin Luther King stood up and said the "I Have a Dream" speech and let the blacks free again. I really do think the Watsons went through a really fun journey.